It's day 2 in Neilgate, and as usual, both sides line up on opposite ends of the field. First, there's Donald Trump doing Donald Trump.
You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. Well, you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. And the NFL owners did the right thing if that's what they've done.
If that is the story, do you feel like you pushed this story forward and you pushed this to a conclusion?
I think the people pushed it forward. This was not me. I brought it out. I think the people pushed it forward.
Yep, another excellent, hard-hitting interview from Mr. Kilmeade. Give that guy a raise or at least something to stand on. But the fact is, you expect that from Trump. He finds an issue and he takes the hardline stance. Whining about it would be pointless. He's your uncle, Uncle Sam. But that didn't stop the pearl clutchers from clutching their pearls.
The racism is disgraceful. If you're a football player or whatever they are, any sports guy who has a position to do it, do it.
It's ridiculous. It's absurd. He sounds a lot like Erdogan right there, doesn't he? He doesn't sound like the leader of the free world.
And remember how this all started. Speaking to a crowd that looked like an SEC white football crowd in 1955, calling them SOBs and saying they should be fired. In what world other than his is that okay?
America? See, they missed the point. The First Amendment is a right held by every citizen against the government. But a private entity like the NFL, they own it. They make the rules. As long as there's no discrimination, the NFL can mandate that teams play in high heels and referees wear tutus. It's their ball. They can take it and go home. And the players can protest, but they will be penalized if it's done during a game. Penalized, not jailed. Only the government can jail you. You see the difference? Players are employees at work disobeying a rule. So where are you in all of this? Where you've always been, scratching your head. You prefer unity over conflict. You don't mind dissent. It's the dissension where there not need be. Mind you, you still love a good debate. It's why you watch The Five. But a political act within a sporting event, it's like turning on this very show and finding me and Dana playing badminton for an hour.
Oh my God.
It's not what you came here for. It's not why you watch. And let's be honest, seeing me in tight white shorts is not appropriate for 5 p.m.
Or ever.
Or ever. That is so true, Kimberly.
Throwing lots of shade at Kilmeade about the box and this and that. Glass houses, Tiny Dancer. Glass houses.
I'm not scared of Kilmeade.
Of me.
I'm asleep when he's up. All right, Jesse, welcome back. You had strep throat. We missed you.
Yes, thank you. Trump was right. I was sick of winning. That's what it was.
That's what happened.
Tired of winning.
I'm tired of winning.
It was a purely natural vacation.
This time it was. Thank you for bringing that up.
So, okay, I read Reason magazine. I usually respect what they. I like what they say, but they say that NFL was bowing to Trump. My theory is they wanted to nip this practice in the bud because you could start. You can kneel for anything. You can kneel about abortion or gun rights. If this keeps going, it never stops.
Yeah, I don't read Reason. I read the Weekly Standard because that's what you gave me a subscription for. No one's trampling anyone's constitutional rights. We're all employees like we are here at Fox News. There's rules, so you can't run wild. Mostly rules so you can't run wild. There's HR rules, PR rules. It's just the fact that, like, Harf couldn't get here when she did her one more thing and take a knee every time. After a while, people would change the channel, and then the ratings would dip, and the company CEO would say, "Can you stop doing that?" And if you said no, you're fired. That's how it works. You're wearing their jersey, you're in their stadium, you're playing for their team. They can tell you what to do or what not to do. I think it's a great idea. And Trump, he's not saying anything. He's not going to deport linebackers and free safeties. He's saying love it or leave it. You know, he likes his country so much. It's hyperbole. He can't see how anybody wouldn't like this country at all. But the kneeling thing really hurt because it was misconstrued. They did it at the wrong time. Speak your mind on ESPN, on Fox News, on Twitter. On Sunday, play football. It hurt Jameel Hill. She lost her show. It hurt the commissioner. He got hit hard because of his erratic response. It hurt the ratings. Networks didn't like it. It hurt the players. Now, some of the players that kneeled are free agents, and they're having a hard time getting re-signed. So it even hurt the Democrats because they sided against 75% of the country. So I think this is a good thing, and I'm glad they've resolved it.
All right, Dana, you know, another argument for not defending the NFL ban is like, this is like shutting down speakers on campus, and you're kind of like a snowflake if you don't want them to kneel.
I saw some of that today, and I don't feel like the government should be telling any private organization what they can or should not do. I mean, unless it's like, you know, like harming people or illegal. Right. So I'm for private companies being able to do what they want to do. Colleges are meant to be places for free expression.
Right.
Most of them get taxpayer dollars. And I guess you could maybe say, well, the NFL shouldn't get any money, taxpayer dollars towards stadiums. Fine, I'm for that too. But the NFL is to play football. That's not a place where you expect to have a free exchange of ideas like you would on college campus. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's a free exchange of helmets to the head. Marie, you can't say that this is discriminating if it applies to everyone, correct?
Well, I think what the NFL didn't do correctly here, in my opinion, is it doesn't seem like they communicated adequately with the Players Association before they released this. And so now there's this fight in the public between the Players Association, who says they weren't consulted and they're looking at it, individual players, and the NFL. I know they wanted to get this out of the way before the next season. I get that, but it had sort of receded from the headlines. And so if they had really coordinated this and come out with a more comprehensive plan, here's our plan. We're going to find players if they kneel, but we're also going to undertake these 5 community activism steps that players have asked for. It seems like that would have been a better way to move forward. And the president's comments, once again, sort of throw more, you know, gasoline on the fire of what is a very controversial issue. So I think the NFL could have probably handled this a little better. And now you have people like the owner of the Jets who's come out and said he will pay the fines if his players get them. He won't pass them along because he wants his players to be able to express themselves.
That's an interesting point, KG, because then he's putting the onus, if that's the real word. It is?
It is.
It's not a function.
Oh my God.
It puts the onus on the other owners. It's the owner's onus. It puts the onus on the owner. So now all the other owners got to go, well, the Jets are doing it. Should we do it? So I don't know. Is this going to struggle continue?
Yes, applying pressure. Yes,
Well, yes.
It'd probably be a simpler term to use since you were struggling deeply with that. But right, so now I'm saying, okay, he's going to go ahead and do that. What about the rest of you? You know, show up, pay up, etc. But listen, I agree with President Trump on this because they're paid millions of dollars for the privilege of playing in one of the world's greatest sports, one that I love to watch as well. But really, there is a time for social justice and activism. I love it. Express yourself. That's what people fought for in this country so that all of us can sit here and have crazy, insane opinions at the table.
Why are you looking at me?
It was a side glance. One eye at you, one eye at Greg.
It's amazing how she can do that.
It's really unbelievable. I practice it a lot. And that's what we're here for, right? Is to be able to express opinions. But they're paid a job. We're paid to do a job here, and we work for this company. They work for different teams in the NFL. If they have a problem with that, you know, don't play then. And that's what he's trying to say. I like the use of hyperbole. That was excellent, Jesse.
Thank you.
Because
Better
he's
than
saying
Notice.
if you don't like the country, then, you know, you can
go
get to
play
step
for
in.
the CFL in Canada.
Right. Canada.
Right.
And then
Get
kneel
paid less.
before the Canadian flag. Yeah, how will that working? Do you think the Canadians are going to go for that? I don't think so.
Go play for the
That's a tough
French.
group
Go
of
play for
people.
the French,
Polite.
Jesse.
Yeah, not French
No
Canadians.
uniforms
I know.
Dana,
They play touch.
the underlying truth to all of this is that I have an inkling that everybody wants this behind them. Even Colin Kaepernick, everybody's like, okay, this wasn't supposed to go this long.
Right. I think that that's true. There's and then, well, you have people all say that we all want the same thing. We're all for America, et cetera. Yeah, absolutely. People want this behind them. And I think that's what the NFL was trying to do. I think that they handled it pretty well. I mean, they're going to have to do it at some point. Might as well do it now, get it over with. They had an owners meeting, move on. And I think the other thing is, now that they've laid out this policy, if it continues to happen, which I can't see how it would. I mean, if they're going to kneel, then there's going to be a problem unless you're the Jets. But they've laid out the policy, so now if you do it and you get fired, you're actually firing yourself. And you're making a choice.
Yeah. And it's another one of these issues, Jesse, that is like Were you here when we were talking about Laurel and Yanny?
Yes.
It's Laurel and Yanny.
He's a Yanny.
Were you a Yanny? It's like...
Yeah, but it's not 50-50. It's like 80-20 in this country. And I don't have a problem with people wanting to talk about race and police brutality. That's a noble cause, but just don't do it during the time where people are supposed to be unified under one flag. And it's fine to be all about activism, but it's all about symbols with these people. They wear the hat, they walk out of class over guns, you know, they do the Black Power thing, that's fine. But then when you say, well, what do you want to do about it? What's the solution? They go, oh, well, we have to do something. And they don't ever really offer any solutions. And I think that's what people had a problem with. What do the players want? What specifically are they addressing? What are the solutions to police brutality and racism? No one knew what those were. So that's why people were upset, because it just looked unpatriotic.
Well, also, the NFL really can't afford, I don't think, to have a situation where they go another season like this. And it's not just because of the ratings, but there's all sorts of different pressures, lots of different people watching different things, but also this recent decision by the Supreme Court about sports betting. That's a much bigger issue that the NFL needs to deal with right now. So I think it's
Also,
right to get this over with.
Also, the brain injuries are a bit more...
Yes, that's a bigger issue, I think, long-term for the NFL. And there are some players like Malcolm Jenkins of your Philadelphia Eagles, who went to Ohio State, I will remind you.
The Ohio State
University, who has actually put out plans and ideas for how to work with community activists and law enforcement. He's been doing these meetings on his own with some other players. He is taking proactive steps. More players should do that like he has been doing.
Go Eagles.
Last word,
Eagles.
Kimberly.
I think you should focus on actually playing football so they can keep their job. Look what happened to Kaepernick, just saying. He was horrendous for the 49ers, almost ruined my football dynasty. Thank God we got rid of him. He can kneel all he wants now.
Yeah. I still feel bad about the 49ers.
So, right?
They were my
we were the
team.
best team ever. Everybody looked up to the 49ers. We had the best quarterbacks. We had Steve Young. We had Joe Montana. We had Ronnie Lott, my favorite number 42.
Andy Cross.
Great book, Total Impact. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Got to shut up now. I'm talking about myself.